Welcome to the news. Stay to the end to find out how we get there. So, today we're talking about a unique trading card game, something regarding the foundation of Dinky T Change for Games, Dinky Tech and Change for Games Studios, as we attempt to transition to have some more engaging content that also connects to a trading card game. Trading card game where in essence we're trying to focus on symbols, symbology for all the people in your life, because in essence there's a sense of life that corresponds to moments adding up to what life is, based on scenes, scenarios similar to scenes in a movie, for example. So it's kind of like that times life, times actual life, where you've got a bunch of different scenes adding up to the whole movie. And so with this in mind, what we want to do is try to connect with or exert some kind of intention behind the direction, if possible, by trying to aggregate like a score value for different people in your life, for example. So there's a symbology for everybody in your life. Like a score system, you kind of have to make your own value system to a certain extent, because it depends on the direction that you're attempting to go in, and you score the highest value first, and then beyond that you want to contextualize the direction that you're attempting to move your goals in, and then try to develop a metric related to that specific kind of outcome or context regarding the direction of the goal and the people that are also parallel with potentially moving in that direction, and then making your own card set, your own set of cards, your own deck based upon symbols, the symbology of who you have around you and what are the highest value people that are nearby to help you align with your goals and to help you try to discover your goals as soon as possible, because it is very difficult in this game of moments, in this game of scenes that are correspond to the essence of the types of scenarios that unfold if life itself is just sort of doing the dealing of the cards. Whereas if you make your own deck of cards, then you're attempting to shuffle your deck of cards of valuable people every day. That's how the game begins. That's how you make your own trading card game that corresponds to Dinky T, Change for Games, Dinky Tech, and Change for Games Studios. So it's just also contextual for every single person to be able to shuffle their own deck of cards of high value people, because this contextually helps you align with the things that you just want to keep on your attention span, to try to focus towards your highest interest, to just keep that at the top of the frame of mind of focus, trying to develop a collection of interests to be able to correspond to the highest goal in general, to be able to develop the highest goal that you might have, to stick with one goal that was one particular incentive, one goal that is the highest intention to be able to focus upon, and not to shift that goal, period. Because more or less everyone else in life is changing, coming and going. The moments are coming and going, fluttering in, fluttering out. But in essence, the idea is to be able to make a deck of cards of people that can actually help to best suit your process going towards that goal. And there's a whole lot of people that also are not meant to be in the deck of cards. And so having this deck of cards helps you at least understand the characters that you need to try to go towards the goal of attaining the goal of winning, like in a game of capture the flag, of attaining the flag. So you want to be able to shuffle this deck of cards and immediately be able to connect with more of the direction that you're trying to move in, because of the idea and the essence that you want to sort of make this card game revolve around symbology of people that connect with different energies. And this can spread as far as the whole world. So like the energies is what you're actually symbolizing. The energies is what you're trying to develop a card game around, and shuffling this deck of cards every day helps to be able to recontextualize a schedule, because you're only dealing with the highest priority of things and people in your life that you want to. So it's a matter of just trying to give yourself incentive like rolling your own dice, like rolling the dice of your brain, for example. That's what the purpose of this game is to try to incentivize and inspire your schedule to revolve around just these set of people that can correspond to your highest goal and highest intent and highest interest based on the highest echelon of living for a long enough period of time to be able to know the difference between all of the people that you've ever experienced and who has the highest frequency, who resonates at the highest frequency, and you're keeping track of a resonance at the highest realm of alignment with yourself and your interest to try to move towards more focused connection to these types of people, to these energies, to the light that is resonating from the frequency from these types of people. So these are the types of people that you just want to consistently, narrowly develop extreme focus around, because this task in of itself of this card game can not only help to inspire day-to-day outreach in terms of people. This can be like 100 people in this deck of cards. Ideally, it's like 100 people in this deck of cards, because not everyone's reliable, and especially not everyone's always available. It's both of those things, because it's a matter of availability, first of all, for people to be available, to be able to assist you or work with you or alongside of you. But even having 1,000 people in the deck of cards is more so ideal, because it's like everybody, again, is busy sometimes, and so you can just find a way to contextualize your own schedule, your own flow, your own self with the deck of cards as it's inspiring you to outreach and reconnect with and circle back with the highest deck of cards people that you can conceptualize to be able to keep in your circle of attention, because there's a lot of things that you want to get rid of as soon as possible. There's a lot of people in your attention that you have no need or reason to want to keep them in your attention, and so this deck of cards is a symbol of the highest value that you contain in your life in terms of energies that you want to keep focused on. And in addition to the focus, you want to also take action and have a reminder and an incentive and a gamification and a game to remind a certain order of operations in terms of taking action, because that's what sometimes makes life fun, I guess, is like the essence of whimsy, the essence of unknowns, the essence of sort of going to play a game on the schoolyard and not knowing who's going to win, not knowing how the game is going to unfold. And that's the part of this, instance that makes it trying to incentivize daily play, daily consistent play, because like starting with this podcast, I was also saying that life is like a series of moments. It consistently relates, like corresponds to various moments, just like kind of like a movie. So if you can just narrow in on all of the conceptual moments that you could spend a lifetime spending, to be able to try to narrow in on just the moments that you care about remembering to continue to stay in those moments, that this deck of cards is meant to try to help you to focus on those moments and those types of people and those experiences that are related to these types of people that are the highest frequency, that relate to resonance corresponding to your own frequency, to connect with and correspond with and align with your own frequency, and find other parallels, other people in parallel with you in this world. It's a big world of 8 billion people, so it's ideal to be able to just read out a deck of cards worth of people so that you can make this series of moments of a lifetime situation not only correspond to, enjoyment based on high frequency connection and parallel connectivity, but also to try to work towards productivity, to try to have productivity be at the highest forefront of other people that are able to inspire you to take action, to, do various tasks that speak to productivity, which is an asset process in of itself. Like having all assets, having a deck of card of all assets is really optimal. Like for example, if somebody helped you maybe want to make a pair of shoes, for example, there was somebody that inspired you about that, you talked to them, so that card would then relate to some unique pair of shoes that you could use artificial intelligence to make a pair of shoes that relates to the pair of shoes that it inspired you to want to make, or to have somebody else try to make, or whatever. Like, it's just a matter of tracking the inspiration, keeping notice of the inspiration, having a mind for the symbol, and keeping the symbol in the deck of cards because it's important enough to keep that symbol alive, for lack of better words, because all these other moments in life ultimately will creep in and they'll want to take the priority in life, and they'll want to take over that space in your attention mind frame if you don't have this deck of cards handy that you can also alternate and you can add and subtract as time goes on too, to be able to keep a fresh deck. It is actually very much advised or suggested, as what I meant, to try to continue to add and subtract new cards, and especially add new cards, not necessarily subtract. If you have a lot of assets, it's okay to just continue to add them. It's not like you have to take one out just because another one was added. And these decks can obviously range. If I said 1,000 cards before, that's, not to say that it will be easy to add new people to the deck, but to go from 1,000 to 3,000 cards is just fine. You don't have to keep it at 1,000, because this inspiration wheel of life is constantly evolving, and there's always different people coming and going at all different times of the day, but really having a focus on what's resonating in the resonance of the direction that you're moving in terms of mentally, especially mentally, because you can move mentally about 1,000 times quicker than you can physically. So it's a matter of trying to keep direction and focus aligned, and all these moments in life, so to speak, sort of correspond to, through the inspiration of this card deck game that's assisting to write your own life and write alignment of your own frequencies with other people's frequencies, and trying to make resonance that corresponds to goal setting, goal accomplishing, and goal task completion, to be able to have a full circle process from this card game to be able to bring you to a place of, more happiness, more fulfillment, and more consistent alignment by shuffling this deck of cards every day for inspiration, simply for inspiration of how to align your schedule if there's a lack of inspiration in that respect, outside of obligations and things that you're obligated to do, to use free time to try to transition free time into assets, and then continue to build and continue to refine the card game into different cards that also are collections of different energies, different people energies, groups of different people, and these can all become different cards because they're symbols of different goals. If there's 5 different people that all remind you of one goal, then that can become one card, because the card has to do with goals, because the goals have to do with assets and becoming an asset personality and finding the highest resonance of frequencies that remind you to try to take action in the most conducive, conductive, and productive potential methods that you are able to do. And so with that in mind, this card game is again trying to align with the moments of life, and that's really what is so unique about life, is all of the moments. There are so many moments every day, and you can change the corner at every given moment of every day too, by having some inspiration in place, some inspiration in mind, and having these symbols, this symbology. You can have a 50 card deck up to a 20,000 card deck, in my opinion, and the symbols can range from anything that can possibly inspire you in terms of things that you want to put your attention on, in terms of things that resonate with you. It's something also like a vision board. There's a vision board is just something where people put pictures from magazines onto one square board, and they put it in their room so that they look at it every day. This is similar to that, but it's meant to just be something that you're meant to able to shuffle every day as just a simplified version of the card game. You're not actually playing a hardcore card game, but this is the Dinky T Change for Games, Dinky Tech Change for Games first edition, sort of the Pokemon Go card game, if you will, or the Gary Vaynerchuk V-Friends edition of the card game that we're talking about. But everybody in this metaphysical realm, in this metaphysical sense, is making their own card game, because it's a matter of interpersonal connection with everybody's interpersonal life and soul, and it's just one simple activity of shuffling the card deck every day to be able to develop inspiration and recirculation, just like re-rolling a pair of dice every day of your mind, in terms of the highest frequency resonance people and symbols and symbology and goals that you possibly can connect with people, that you also can connect with a small picture, which is like a logo, which corresponds to the highest frequency logos that you want to continue to pursue. Because just seeing logos that you also see that are not important as other logos that are in the stack of cards helps to be able to continue to focus on other stacked cards from like a couple days before or a couple weeks before that you liked to prefer to keep focusing on more than others, to be able to keep those at the top of the stack of the deck of cards intentionally and set them aside and put those onto your vision board as they are the highest resonating frequency out of the highest resonating frequency deck of cards, so that it's like containing and obligating your attention to stay aligned with the highest, best focus frequency, which is also helpful and useful and assistive to the emotional element inside to focus and just mentality, like in terms of in regards to improving mentality, if you will. That's just about all for now. Similar to that, Dinky T, Change for Games, among all the podcast episodes in the past, we're trying to like align a sandwich board of services to make available to be like for free. For example, like, so we have a wheel of business services, as well as like coaching, consulting, accent elimination coaching, sound making, music making, trying to like have a combination of therapy and like a spiritual finance connection, which is similar to like a church connection, or talking to like some kind of someone who runs a church, and things of this nature. So I might try to throw up a calendar soon, a Calendly link sometime soon, to be able to try to develop appointments, or be able to designate some time to be able to make a connection, an interpersonal connection for anything you might need for your business or personal sense, ranging from coaching to business services, which connects to mergers and acquisitions, real estate, fulfillment, demand, and just chit-chatting about aspirations in terms of potential acquisitions in one of those things, or potentially for marketing, a marketing agency, human resources, and oddly enough, jewelry development, jewelry manufacturing, or making structures, developing structures, and designing structures as well. So these are meant to be free services in a while there, like trying to set that up to align with this greater interest to just expand on the brand. That's the intention behind the free services. It's just sort of like a getting to know you, sort of like trying to bring some metaphorical cupcakes to the universe, or to the world, if you will, through this digital podcast, through digital cupcakes, by having free offerings and free services, including sound making and whatnot, to bring some more sound to the marketplace as like another avenue to try to open up a getting to know you process, if you will, in terms of metaphorical digital cupcakes that we're trying to pass out as a brand. And that's all for now. Thanks again, Dinky Tech and Change for Games Studios. Dinky T, Change for Games. Bye, peace, bye. And let's all remember to push for world peace every single day. Let's all remember to push for world peace every single day. Let's push for world peace every single day. And also, let's remember to try to clear the animal shelters. Let's clear all the animal shelters in the world. Let's clear all the animal shelters in the world, because we can foster all the shelter animals. We can adopt all the shelter animals in the world. We can rescue all the shelter animals in the world. And we can also hire the shelter animals as healers. We can also hire the shelter animals as healers all throughout the world, so that they don't have to be mistreated in animal shelters. And we can clear the animal shelters, and we can hire the shelter animals as healers throughout our communities. Hire the shelter animals as healers throughout our communities, because they also work for free, and they could use better purpose and use better jobs and be able to add value and be therapeutic energy for humans and humanity, to help us be more harmonious as humans and among humanity key for all the animals in the world, to clear all the animal shelters to try to get them to transition their energy in terms of therapeutic energy to all humans, so we can clear the animal shelters to add value to humanity in terms of harmony if possible. And let's push for world peace every single day and clear the animal shelters every day. That's all for now. Thanks again, Dinky Tech and Change for Game Studios. Bye. Peace. Bye.